Hi, this is Nancy, and welcome back to Nan's Next Knots. I haven't been crocheting a lot in the last week. I've been making bags because I have a few birthdays coming up in the next month. So, let me show you what I made. So, this is a tote bag. Sorry, kind of had it folded up. It's a box bottom. It's pretty good size. It's probably, bigger than a project bag. And these are pockets on the outside. These are really kind of hard to show. And then I have pockets on the inside. So here's a pocket, a nice big pocket, and then on this one I have made it to where you can't see it. There's a pocket here, and then there's a small pocket here like to put your crochet hook, and it's a drawstring. And, of course, as you can tell, it has handles. Now, when I first got my sewing machine, I went out and bought a lot of material, and that's where the pretty peacock came from. Nowadays, there isn't a lot of choices in material, like at Joann's. Pretty much what they're getting now is what they had in their warehouse, because most of their material comes from China. So we're not really getting any in. So now this is a smaller project bag that I made to go with it, and it is a box bottom, and it didn't turn out quite as big as I wanted it to. It doesn't look real small here, and this one has pockets on the inside. Gosh, I just really can't show that very well. How do they do it? Gosh. Kind of wanted you to see that. So this pocket has two areas, pocket areas. I'm just not going to be able to really show it. Here, for crochet hooks, and then it has a little bit bigger in the middle, and then this pocket here. So, and I made it big enough for like the bigger ergonomics, and then it has a pocket here. So that is, and it's probably about 10 by 12, 13, maybe 11 by 13, maybe 14. I'm sorry, I didn't measure it. And it has a drawstring and a little carry handle. So it looks like I know what I'm doing, but I don't, obviously. Especially here, let me show you this. This was supposed to be a notions bag to match it, and if you saw my video with the wolf set that I made, this was actually a bigger material I started out with, but it turned up being a smaller bag this way. But that's because the box bottoms take up space and material, and it takes from your width and your height. And I really don't know what I'm doing about that yet as far as calculating to make sure I have enough to make it the size I want, because this turned out a lot smaller. If you put crochet hooks in here, you'd have to put them this way, diagonal, because it's just not long enough this way. They don't make crochet hooks that short. So this ended up being about 4.5 by 6 maybe. So it has a little carry thing here and a zipper. This zipper turned out a little bit better than the last bag, so it's all just a work in progress. So this is the 6th bag that I made, and I'm telling you, it takes me like a good part of a day, you know, like 4 hours or whatever that I have to work on it, to cut fabric, measure it, and cut it. But maybe that's because I only have a really small cutting mat. And when you're cutting material that's bigger than this, which would be anything bigger than 18 inches, you kind of have to cut some of it, lay it out more, cut more. So my next bag, like I said, I have some birthdays coming up this month, is going to be this material. And it is just beautiful. And I'm going to line it with this material. And I'm probably going to accent it with this material. And then I'm going to line it with this material. I know it's a lot lighter, but it does have the tones work with it. So this is going to be my next bag, and this one is for my daughter. It'll be like a tote bag. She doesn't really need a project bag. I might make her one, but she doesn't crochet. And then here is the straps. It's a little bit different shade of blue, but she's a blue lover, so any shade of blue, even the turquoise, like the Peacock's bags, she likes. So just any shade of blue is her color. And every time I buy yarn, she's like, mine, mine, mine. If I buy blue yarn, she loves it, but she doesn't crochet. Right now she's working 2 jobs, so the chances of her having much interest in it right now is pretty nil. So one day she'll come back to it, like pretty much all of us have. Most of us learned when we were children, and then maybe picked it up, you know, in our 30s, and then got busy, and when we get older, and a lot of us empty nesters, and we pick it up again. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. And I've heard a lot of people out there kind of the same way. They learned as, you know, before their teenage years, and then picked it back up later. So that is going to be my next stitches. So instead of calling this my next knots, that is going to be my next stitches. Now I still have a few rows left to go on my Luck of the Draw blanket. I'm kind of behind on my temperature blanket, but it's about done. So once I probably won't even get up to today's date on the blanket, because it only needed about 4 or 5 more inches, so it only needed a couple more weeks. But I am thinking about doing the crochet along that Seta has, with C2C triangles, and then you sew them together into squares and sew them into a blanket. And I had got some beautiful yarn from one of my viewers for my birthday, and I was thinking that would be a really good purpose for it. It's almost and Seta's gonna do a lap gown, but I don't think it makes much sense to make a lap gown. If I'm gonna make a blanket, it's gonna be one that can go at least on a twin size bed. So the yarn that I was gifted is beautiful. 2 different. Some are skeins, and then some of them are in a cake, and that's probably almost enough. And if I go get maybe a Caron 1 pound that matches those 2 color schemes, then I would probably have enough to do at least a twin size blanket. So I'm considering doing that. And then later in the fall, maybe doing the luck of the draw again. Only thing is, it took 20 weeks for the first one, and we do not have 20 weeks until Christmas. So either we'll have to step it up and do 2 colors a week, and so you do the basic, drawn color, a basic, another drawn color, and do 2 colors a week or something, if people were wanting to do that as a Christmas gift. So for those of you that want to participate in that, start collecting your yarn, and that probably won't start till mid-September, maybe just a little bit later, hopefully before October 1st, because that really crunches it if it is for a Christmas gift. So those of you that want to participate in that and think that your blanket that you make would be a Christmas gift, let me know, because that crunches our time, and that's kind of important for me to know if a lot of people are intending for it to be for Christmas, because we don't have that many weeks. I think we have less than 19 weeks. So anyway, that's what I've been up to, and I thought I'd take the time to show you before I gift these bags that I just made. And I'm gonna be making some more, because I got some more birthdays coming up. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time on Nan's Next Knots.